Hello and welcome to the first ever official Formula PC highlights here on the Doom Network. And the inaugural race comes from Monza in Italy. That is a country that's been on the Formula One Championship all the way back since 1950. There hasn't been a season without Italy on the track. No, Italy on the calendar. And Monza has held all the races apart from one, the 1980 Italian Grand Prix, which was hosted by Imola, the famous track that has caused many crashes and taken many lives over the years, including the late great Ayrton Senna. And so it's a very high speed track around here, 13 laps. The tyres that are available, the medium and hard for dry, and it's set to be a dry race the whole way through. We won't either be using the inters or the wet tyres. So let's get into qualifying on this high speed circuit. The results for the first ever qualifying session for Formula PC were Boss 1996 lined up on pole position with reserve Arava in a McLaren for this race, starting in P2. Boss's Red Bull teammate Rybox finished third in the session. Ewan Cunningham finished fourth. ESC in the Ferrari finished fifth. Andrew Bortz, he qualified sixth, but we know he's much better in race pace. Alex Armageddon finished seventh, and I lined up at the back of the grid in 8th, almost 6 seconds off of Boss's pace. However, I started on primes. We had 2 disconnections in qualifying, and that was Art and Tim Trivizaz in the Williams. They disconnected halfway through qualifying, and then the other 6 did not even bother to turn up. So the people who didn't bother to turn up, Matthew Weston in the McLaren, whoever was replacing, he's got wheel problems, so hopefully he can get that sorted for later on in the season, if not Singapore next week. The 2 Mercedes, Lagunamov and Marcus AMG, they pretty much come in 2 by 2 now. Connor Burns and Balmox HD did not turn up, and neither did Nathan Avi and Paul 88. So before we get into the race, let's look at Boss's qualifying lap, because he records qualifying as well, and he got it on pole. So let's look at the pole lap from Boss.
Like all the old traditional tracks, I think. Herman Tilt for the win. Interesting what's happening. That's a massive margin. You know what, I think that's...
And as we see there, a great lap from Boss. And now he starts on pole then for the first ever Formula PC race. And joining me in the commentary box this race is Alex Armageddon. Let's go racing.
Welcome everybody to the first round of the Formula PC Championships 2013. My name is Alex Armageddon and I'm with the F1 Pico. We'll be giving you commentary of the first round of this quite good championship. And so anyways, we're lining up at the start.
And we're on board with Ewan. We've got views from Ewan and Boss, and we're away for the inaugural round of FPC. Boss gets a good start. Arava has been overtaken by Rybox, but Rybox gets the best start out of the top three, goes into the lead, but a bit of a lag tap from Ewan taps him into Arava, which taps Rybox, who had an amazing start, back down into last place, and Ewan is now having to give the place back, and now I think we see it from Boss's POV of the collision. So here is Boss's POV. There is
Rightbox got such a good start. He has to minimise the wheel spin, and then that's motor racing at the end of it all.
Yeah.
So anyway, Arav was rejoining the track, and Ewan slowed down, but I think he let more cars through than he should have done.
Yes.
Because I ended up gaining from that as well, and I think ESC did.
Yes.
No, ESC was caught up.
Yes, especially on lap 2 or lap 3. But yes.
So anyway, Ewan, oh my god, wow, that is quite risky. Of course, the car in a straight line will have a lot more downforce than it would in the corners. And
going into turn 1, Ewan looks like he's got the move done, but then just taps.
Oh, lag tap.
And Arava goes around and causes many people to go through. And shoves into and I accidentally shove into the back of him whilst I'm trying to overtake Andrew Bort. Yes, I was trying to overtake Andrew Bort. No joke. Sounds very weird, but I lost my front wing in that and had to go pit at the end of that lap. And Ewan, not very clever there.
Contact Arav.
As ESC goes straight into the barrier.
Like he just drove into him.
And now,
you know.
Here we go, and
like
Arav spun Ewan round, and so Ewan had to get back onto track. But this is a very, very rude from Ewan. Let's see here, because
I gotta say,
look at what speed he's going. So he's going very fast around there, but then look, suddenly he starts slowing down. He goes into first gear around here, slowing down for ESC to catch up. This is something that you do in sprint mode, Ewan, not in a league race. And for those two collisions, the one with Arava and for this incident, which is very stupid of him, he would have 2 penalty points.
I would have to comment quickly about the McLaren drivers, both Arav and Ewan. Quite aggressive driving from both of them on each other, you know. Arav being quite a bit more aggressive than normal, but Ewan, you know, this is quite artificial, quite an artificial battle, we would say, as you know, Ewan's literally slowing down, and as we can see, ESC is just behind him, and he's gonna kind of battle with him, and then now he's just gonna start powering up again.
Yeah. Also, at the time. At the time, you were as Ewan goes straight into the gravel trying to overtake ESC.
Very aggressive.
That was way too aggressive. But for the actual race, you were doing live commentary with your Ferrari teammate, and did he seem at all disgruntled about this or anything?
ESC was getting irritated at the time, of course. I didn't focus on it too much as I was kind of trying to hold off Andrew Bortz and Rightbox, etc. because I was battling the second. But when it started to quiet down later on in the race, because I had to go down to lean and lost some positions, he did sound very disgruntled and angry about the situation afterwards.
Okay, lap 5, Boss set the fastest lap, and I remember the reason why I put this bit in was because both Arav and Mr. Bort both pitted on at the end of lap 4 to go onto the option tyres because they asked for frickin' ever. Arav jumped Bort in that stop, and then you just went both behind them when you came out of the pits, didn't you, Alex?
Yeah. I got leapfrogged as I was having to run lean. I set the fuel.
They undercut you as Ewan's going for the move on ESC.
What I did was when I was doing the fuel strategy, I set it to aggressive, thinking that I was not going to end up battling with Arav Andrew Bortz, etc. And that's when I had to put
Yeah.
down to Linus because I had
And this bit now, end of lap 6. This is very rude from Ewan. Ewan was about to dive into the pits to switch onto the prime tyre, sees ESC staying out and goes and just swipes straight in front of him. So I'm not giving him any more penalty points, but I think 2 is sufficient. 2 could decide the championship or not, as they'll be taken off. 2 points will be taken off. Just read the page, saying the penalty system, and it'll make sense. But here we go, going into where Vettel and Alonso did this did this in 2011 and in 2012 actually, and this time Ewan stays in front of ESC.
It's not been shown in the highlights because you were a bit you didn't have many highlight videos. Not many people used. But what no one did see was, apart from me and Rightbox, had a carbon copy effectively of me versus when you had Alonso and Vettel in the previous time, you had a carbon copy of that effectively, Red Bull versus Ferrari going into a corner. And as I was speaking, Ewan went onto the grass and overtook him.
Yeah, and
that's an illegal move, and he's keeping the position as well.
Yeah,
theory,
and as you were saying that, Ewan made a brave move on the outside before going into the first turn, as ESC goes into the gravel trap there, coming out of the first chicane, as Ewan goes into Lesmo 1, and he makes almost the same mistake.
That's on purpose. You could tell by you would have put more lock in otherwise if he wanted to make the corner.
Yeah, true.
I was going to say, if you didn't let him through and they kept the positions, that should have been more penalty points, but
yeah,
doesn't really matter now.
So,
anyways, we skip to Boss.
So this is Boss on lap 9. He hasn't made his pit stop yet, but he's coming up to lap me because of the incident that I had on lap 2. I was just I was very far down. I think I could have been like 30 seconds further up if it wasn't for that incident on lap 2.
So what's happening here exactly? Did you have DRS on Boss by any chance?
Yes, I did, and here Boss was getting agitated as he thought that I was going to ram him at some point, as I was trying to follow in his slipstream and everything. That's not because he has a Vettel helmet, by the way. So I do hate Vettel so much, but it's not because he has a Vettel helmet, and I wasn't even intending on ramming him or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Is struggling back down in third. He's 18 seconds off at the moment. But did he pit? Did he pit or something?
Yes, he did. I believe he pitted on lap
4
for the option tyre. So he would do 9 lap stint on the options.
Ewan's caught up to ESC in the dying moments of the event.
Dying moments, and ESC makes a mistake there, and
just see how much quicker Ewan is as a driver, but and I think this is actually kind of a good opportunity to see Ewan's pace in a way, as he pulls another overtake, and he's got DRS as well. But is he going at full power? It looks like he's going at full power.
Look what he was doing with the DRS. He was just spamming the DRS all the time, and then he just lets ESC through. This is not what you do in league races. Ewan, seriously.
So Ewan had a chance of winning the event, really, had he carried on, because it was so close at the start. If not even a podium at the maximum.
Yeah, but instead we'll find out who finished on the podium in a bit. As he does the same thing here, he dives to the pits, but then...
This is quite appalling to watch, to be honest.
This isn't what you do, Ewan. If you want to do that, go on to sprint mode. I'm sure Into the Barrier could cover this.
Yeah, this is, I suppose it is a good opportunity to see the pace of Ewan, because he's not really pushing that much, and ESC was flooring it. Of course, ESC actually broke his wheel at a time. In fact, he got it replaced recently. So yeah, I think Ewan now was actually powered up. Oh wait, what?
Yes, I believe he broke it a couple of hours before the race, and look, he just cut the chicane, slowed down, and everything for Ed to catch up with him. Just As that
Yeah, that's over.
that
It's all
time
over.
that was on purpose. That was on purpose that time.
Yeah, but that's all over now from ESC's gained a huge lead over Ewan Cunningham, and he'll settle over for 7th basically. So that's kind of the end of the battle effectively. So anyways, we'll skip over to Boss. Is he no, he's not pitted yet.
Boss is
now? Yes,
lap
he is.
time, and as he usually does, he
saved it.
he stays on his tyres for ages now. He just stays on them for like
now
God knows how long, and that was a good stop. 2.9, and right box and going to overtake him, and
Okay, so I think
handy. So
Boss has practically won this event.
Yeah, Boss looks like he's on course to win the inaugural FBC race.
It's just alright. So he's now on the primes. It's a bit of an interesting strategy. Personally, I would have pitted around lap 9.
Yeah.
The tyres were still in their prime a bit.
Yeah,
and that might have cost him a bit of time.
As Ewan, who's pretty much lapped down, pitched as well. But now we've actually got the full standings. Boss was leading the race from right box. Andrew Bortz, Arava, Alex Armageddon, ESC, Ewan Cunningham, and myself were in last place. But that's not for long, because this is pretty much where I celebrated. Because here, what are you doing? Ewan, what are you doing? But here, you're about to see a yellow dot come through, and this is and this is where I was celebrating because I was not in last place for what felt like the first time ever. He just did a little bit of wheel spin.
Is he a lap down now?
Not yet. He is about to be, though, I believe, because I believe Boss is about to overtake him.
Okay,
Yep.
well, no one would have expected this down. You and probably one of the quickest drivers in this game, being lapped by Boss 1996.
Yes, and this is the view from Boss lapping Ewan. It's very unpeculiar. As he was just slowing down.
Slowing up. He's in 7th. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's doing that thing where you drive up this.
Yep, and
There's
right box and Andrew Bortz pass him, and now so does Arav
a bit.
And I believe Arav has a fault here, if I remember correctly. Arav clips the curb and goes into the gravel.
That opened up the door for me because I was closing. I wasn't exactly closing in, but I was kind of holding station, so they weren't. I mean, they were 9 seconds ahead at the time.
Yeah,
because I was having to run a lean,
and if I heard correctly there, Boss was like getting excited because Bortz had just overtaken right box, and Ewan, this is just a crazy race for him because he is done pretty much. He's in the McLaren and he's parking up where Jenson Button parked his car in the in the actual 2012 Monza race, and there is you going past him to start your final lap.
So anyway then, as the drivers come on to the final lap now, Boss 1996 looking like he's going to win the event. Andrew Bortz, had this been maybe a 50% race, would have caught him up and probably won it.
Had there been like 3 more laps, I think he would have done it.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think
and here we go again. Wow, Ewan, ESC, it's happening all over again.
It's going to be a fight between Andrew Bortz, right box for the championship. Boss, I think he's obviously a quick driver, but I don't think he's exactly going to win the championship with considering the talent that right box and
he might do because he was surprised to do this well at Monza because he said he was. Look, what are you doing, Ewan? What are you doing?
He's taking him out. That should be personally another penalty.
And
Boss 1996 takes the checkered flag then for the round of the Formula One World Championships.
Yeah, and this battle just keeps on going on.
Alright, here's a replay of Boss's final lap. Goes through now, taking a very nice line through, I think is it Lesmo? I'm not sure. He kind of kept it calm. He's actually managed the field particularly well. You know, he's got it down to optimal. Running on standard, and, you know, it's always good. Does he take the whole chicane? He only takes part of it. I was a bit more. I was one of those who took advantage of the glitch and just run across the whole chicane as it goes a bit of a
Yeah, yes.
move.
Yeah, I believe he did that in his pole lap. But apart from that,
Into the final corner now. Boss 1996 he's going to take the checkered flag there.
Boss 1996 wins the first ever official Formula PC race, and here we go from Ewan. A terrible driving again, and look at this, he can't even be bothered to finish the race. And so, yeah,
Suicide.
into the pit wall.
Okay then, so that's
Okay,
it. Boss
so
1996 is first, Andrew Bortz is second, Riot Box is third, I'm in fourth. Arav finished fifth, quite disappointing for him. ESC came home sixth after a
I
disastrous
finished
event.
not last. I didn't finish last. I was happy.
F1 Pico 7th, 1 minute 20 seconds behind, and the final runner who DNF'd was Ewan Cunningham, Art and Tim.
Disconnected in qualifying, and then the people who didn't turn up: Matthew Weston, Laguna Mov, Marcus AMG, Connor Burns, Balmox HG, Nathan Navi, and his uncle Paul.88. So this is what it looks like for the championship. You wouldn't have to guess on what the championship would look like, but the constructors' championship looks like this: Red Bull leading by 16.7, Lotus, Ferrari in third, McLaren fourth, Williams fifth, Mercedes sixth, Force India seventh, and Sauber in eighth. That is pretty much the end of the first ever official Formula PC highlights. Next week I won't be around.
I will be enjoying Devon or Cornwall, wherever Torquay is. I still don't know. And Arava will be taking over for official FPC highlights for next week, and he will also be doing commentary. So thank you in advance, Arav. That's pretty much it. Next week it's at Singapore, and I'll be back for the third round in Canada. So until then, hope you enjoy your week. Aaron will be with you next week, and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Goodbye.